one of my most well-known tricks is called the shuffling lesson, which is a trick where the deck is shuffled and you give them half the deck. I shuffle half, they shuffle half the deck, and they make 4 piles. You don't touch their cards, and they deal themselves the 4 aces, and you get the 4 kings, and without touching their cards. So it's a spectator shuffles and cuts to the 4 aces themselves, kind of. You know what I mean? Anyway, I think the best way, how I came up with that is observing how people shuffle. Creativity to me is being aware of everything around you, observing, things in different ways, and observing how people's behavior, and that makes you, it helps you come up with tricks, So in this case, about 20 years ago, I was doing a trick for somebody in Japan, actually. Me and Hiro Sakai were having a lunch, and the woman next to us, sitting next to us, says, "Oh, you're magicians. Would you show me a trick?" And Hiro gives her a deck of cards and says, "Please shuffle." And she starts shuffling singly, one by one, the cards, and then she shuffles. And when she leaves, after the trick, I noticed that I told Hiro, I said, "Did you notice how she shuffled?" And I put the aces on top, and I gave them to him, and I said, "Do what I do, shuffle very slowly." And he starts shuffling, and then he shuffles off regular, and he stacks this deck himself, So just by observing how people act and how people handle things, and and their behavior, you can use that sometimes in your methods, So that's how I came up with the shuffling lesson trick. Just being aware of stuff around you and always thinking and looking at things differently, to me is is the best way to come up with tricks, And I say honestly, I write down. I have just notebooks of ideas, and they say if you write down, come up with 10 ideas every day, and you write them down. Just write down whatever you think of, all of your ideas, even if they're horrible. You know what I mean? Because maybe one day you might have a use for that, Or if you write down 10 ideas a day or 5 ideas a day, eventually you'll have a notebook full of things. Sometimes I write down one word, sometimes I write down patter, sometimes I write down an idea, and then eventually out of all those ideas you might get 5 that are just really good, The more ideas you have, the more your chances of having a good idea, I think, so, but that's how I come up with stuff, There's no real, I just think once you get into creating your own things and being creative and coming up with ideas, it becomes addicting, You can't stop thinking about magic anywhere you are in public. I've always got my phone, so I'm taking pictures of stuff, of ideas. And so I've also got a note-taking app on here. I'll just, see an image, you know what I mean? And you take a picture of that, say that looks like something is there, there could be something there. And so, I don't know, I'm addicted to it now, just coming up with ideas, and trying. Of course, ideas are no good by themselves unless you actually put them into practice, They're worthless as far as, as that. Everybody has ideas, but until you actually do one, I think it's not being used. It's really of no use to anybody, So, anyway, creativity is all about not stopping, always thinking, walk through the dollar store, walk through the dollar store, or like a school supplies or an office supply store, and just look around and you'll see all the ideas just come to you, And so I think that's how I come up with ideas, So.